Family Guy, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, at en.wikipedia.org. For the franchise, see Family Guy franchise. Family Guy is an American animated sitcom created by Seth MacFarlane for the Fox Broadcasting Company. The series premiered on January 31st, 1999, following Super Bowl 33, with the rest of the first season airing from April 11th, 1999. The show centers around the Griffins, a dysfunctional family consisting of parents Peter and Lois, their children Meg, Chris, and Stewie, and their anthropomorphic pet dog Brian. Set in the fictional city of Quahog, Rhode Island, the show exhibits much of its humor in the form of cutaway gags that often lampoon American culture. The family was conceived by MacFarlane after he developed two animated films, The Life of Larry and Larry and Steve. MacFarlane redesigned the film's protagonist, Larry, and his dog, Steve, and renamed them Peter and Brian respectively. MacFarlane pitched a 15-minute pilot to Fox in May 1998, and the show was greenlit and began production. Family Guy's cancellation was announced shortly after the third season had aired in 2002, with one unaired episode eventually premiering on Adult Swim in 2003, finishing the series' original run. Favorable DVD sales and high ratings from syndicated reruns since then convinced Fox to revive the show in 2004. A fourth season began airing the following year, on May 1st, 2005. Family Guy received generally positive reviews during its first 7 seasons. Since then, the series has received criticism for a perceived decline in quality. In 2009, it was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Comedy Series, the first time an animated series had been nominated for the award since The Flintstones in 1961. In 2013, TV Guide ranked Family Guy as the 9th greatest TV cartoon. The series has drawn significant criticism for its storylines, humor, and character portrayals, including allegations of racism, sexism, homophobia, and reliance on offensive stereotypes and graphic violence. Many tie-in media based on the show have been released, including Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story, a straight-to-DVD special released in 2005, Family Guy: Live in Vegas, a soundtrack DVD combo released in 2005, featuring music from the show as well as music created by MacFarlane and Walter Murphy, a video game and pinball machine, released in 2006 and 2007 respectively. Since 2005, 6 books published by Harper Adult, and Laugh It Up, Fuzzball: The Family Guy Trilogy 2010, a collection of 3 episodes parodying the original Star Wars trilogy. A spin-off series, The Cleveland Show, featuring Cleveland Brown, aired from September 27, 2009 to May 19, 2013. On April 2, 2025, it was announced that Family Guy would be renewed for 4 more seasons in what is considered a mega deal with parent company Disney. This renewal will take the show through the 2028 to 2029 television season. The 24th season premiered in October 2025, and regular episodes premiered on February 15, 2026. In March 2026, it was announced that a second spin-off series, Stewie, was given a 2-season order for Fox. Stewie is set to premiere during the 2027 to 2028 season. Premise: Section 1. Characters. For further information, please see the main article, List of Characters in the Family Guy franchise. The show centers around the adventures and activities of the dysfunctional Griffin family, consisting of father Peter Griffin, a bumbling and clumsy blue-collar worker, his wife Lois, a stay-at-home mother and piano teacher in early episodes, who is a member of the affluent Pewterschmidt family, Meg, their often bullied teenage daughter, who is constantly ridiculed or ignored by the family, Chris, their awkward teenage son, who is overweight, unintelligent, unathletic, and in many respects a younger version of his father, and Stewie, their diabolical, adult-mannered infant son of ambiguous sexual orientation who is an evil genius and uses stereotypical arch-villain phrases. Living with the family is their witty, smoking, martini-swilling, sarcastic, English-speaking anthropomorphic pet dog Brian, although he is still considered a pet in many ways. Recurring characters appear alongside the Griffin family. These include the family's neighbors, sex-crazed airline pilot bachelor Glenn Quagmire, deli owner/mail carrier Cleveland Brown and his wife Loretta, later named Donna, paraplegic police officer Joe Swanson, his wife Bonnie, their son Kevin, and their baby daughter Susie, neurotic Jewish pharmacist Mort Goldman, his wife Muriel, and their geeky and annoying son Neil, and elderly child molester Herbert, TV news anchors Tom Tucker and Diane Simmons, Asian reporter Trisha Takanawa, and Blocku weather meteorologist Ollie Williams also make frequent appearances. Actor James Woods guest stars as himself in multiple episodes, as did Adam West prior to his death. Section 2. Setting. For further information, please see the main article Quahog, Family Guy. The primary setting of Family Guy is Quahog, a fictional city in Rhode Island that was founded by Peter's ancestor, Griffin Peterson. McFarlane resided in Providence during his time as a student at the Rhode Island School of Design, RISD, and the show contains distinct Rhode Island landmarks similar to real-world locations. Production, Section 1, Development. McFarlane conceived Family Guy in 1995 while studying animation at the Rhode Island School of Design. During college, he created his thesis film titled The Life of Larry, which was submitted by his professor at RISD to Hanna-Barbera. McFarlane was hired by the company. In 1996, McFarlane created a sequel to The Life of Larry titled Larry and Steve, which featured a middle-aged character named Larry and an intellectual dog, Steve. The short was broadcast in 1997 as one of Cartoon Network's world premiere toons. Executives at Fox saw the Larry shorts and contracted McFarlane to create a series titled Family Guy based on the characters. Fox proposed that McFarlane complete a 15-minute short and gave him a budget of $50,000. McFarlane pitched the completed demo short to Fox on May 15, 1998, which featured the first appearance of the Griffin family. The first 7 minutes of the pitch pilot, which had a storyline parallel to the pilot that aired on television in January 1999, would be included in Family Guy DVD sets. The full 15-minute pitch demo remained lost until it was uploaded to the internet by Robert Paulson on his personal website in 2022. Despite this, the pitch demo was not discovered by the public until March 2025. Several aspects of Family Guy were inspired by the Larry shorts. While McFarlane worked on the series, the characters of Larry and his dog Steve slowly evolved into Peter and Brian Griffin. McFarlane stated that the difference between The Life of Larry and Family Guy was that Life of Larry was shown primarily in my dorm room, and Family Guy was shown after the Super Bowl. Family Guy was originally planned to start out as short movies for the sketch show Mad TV, but the plan changed because Mad TV's budget was not large enough to support animation production. McFarlane noted that he then wanted to pitch it to Fox, as he thought that it was the place to create a primetime animation show. Family Guy was originally pitched to Fox in the same year as King of the Hill, but the show was not bought until years later when King of the Hill became successful. After the pilot episode of Family Guy aired, the series was given the green light. McFarlane drew inspiration from several sitcoms, such as The Simpsons and All in the Family. Premises were drawn from several 1980s Saturday morning cartoons he watched as a child, such as The Fonz and the Happy Days Gang and Rubik, the Amazing Cube. Section 2. Renewals. On January 26, 2023, Fox announced that the series had been renewed for seasons 22 and 23, taking the show through the 2024 to 2025 television season. Season 22 premiered on October 1st, 2023. Season 23 premiered on February 16th, 2025. On April 2nd, 2025, it was announced that Family Guy would be renewed for 4 more seasons in what is considered a mega deal with parent company Disney. This renewal will take the show through the 2028 to 2029 television season, which coincides with the 30th anniversary of the show's launch in January 1999. Additionally, each season will consist of 15 episodes. Section 3. Executive Producers. MacFarlane has served as an executive producer throughout the show's entire history. The first executive producers were David Zuckerman, Lowell Aries, David Pritchard, and Mike Wolfe. Family Guy has had many executive producers in its history, including Daniel Palladino, Cara Vallo, and Danny Smith. David A. Goodman joined the show as a co-executive producer in Season 3 and eventually became an executive producer. Section 4. Writing. For further information, please see the main article List of Family Guy writers. The first team of writers assembled for the show consisted of Chris Sheridan, Danny Smith, Gary Janetti, Ricky Blitt, Neil Goldman, Garrett Donovan, Matt Weitzman, and Mike Barker. These scripts generally include cutaway gags. Various gags are pitched to MacFarlane and the rest of the staff, and those deemed the funniest are included in the episode. MacFarlane has explained that it normally takes 10 months to produce an episode because the show uses hand-drawn animation. The show rarely comments on current events for this reason. The show's initial writers had never written for an animated show, and most came from live-action sitcoms. MacFarlane explained that he is a fan of 1930s and 1940s radio programs, particularly the radio thriller anthology Suspense, which led him to give early episodes ominous titles like Death Has a Shadow and Mind Over Murder. MacFarlane said that the team dropped the naming convention after individual episodes became hard to identify, and the novelty wore off. For the first few months of production, the writers shared one office, lent to them by the King of the Hill production crew. Credited with 19 episodes, Steve Callaghan is the most prolific writer on the Family Guy staff. Many of the writers that have left the show have gone on to create or produce other successful series. Neil Goldman and Garrett Donovan co-wrote 13 episodes for the NBC sitcom Scrubs during their 8-year run on the show, while also serving as co-producers and working their way up to executive producers. Mike Barker and Matt Weitzman left the show and went on to create the long-running and still ongoing adult animated series American Dad. MacFarlane is also a co-creator of American Dad. On November 4th, 2013, it was announced that Barker had departed American Dad during its run as well, after 10 seasons of serving as producer and co-showrunner over the series. During the 2007 to 2008 Writers Guild of America strike, official production of the show halted for most of December 2007 and for various periods afterward. Fox continued producing episodes without MacFarlane's final approval, which he termed a colossal dick move in an interview with Variety. Though MacFarlane refused to work on the show, his contract under Fox required him to contribute to any episodes it would subsequently produce. Production officially resumed after the end of the strike, with regularly airing episodes recommencing on February 17, 2008. According to MacFarlane, in 2009, it cost about $2 million to make an episode of Family Guy. During his September 2017 AMA on Reddit, MacFarlane revealed that he had not written for the show since 2010, choosing instead to focus on production and voice acting. On May 12, 2023, it was announced that the showrunners of Family Guy, including Seth MacFarlane, would temporarily leave the show as a result of the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike. Section 5. Voice Cast. For further information, please see the articles List of Family Guy cast members and List of Family Guy guest stars. Seth MacFarlane voices 3 of the show's main characters, Peter Griffin, Brian Griffin, and Stewie Griffin. Since MacFarlane had a strong vision for these characters, he chose to voice them himself, believing it would be easier than for someone else to attempt it. MacFarlane drew inspiration for the voice of Peter from a security guard he overheard talking while attending the Rhode Island School of Design. Stewie's voice was based on the voice of English actor Rex Harrison, especially his performance in the 1964 musical drama film My Fair Lady. MacFarlane uses his regular speaking voice when playing Brian. MacFarlane also provides the voices for various other recurring and one-time only characters, most prominently those of the Griffins' neighbor, Glenn Quagmire, news anchor Tom Tucker, and Lois's father, Carter Pewterschmidt. Alex Borstein voices Peter's wife Lois Griffin, Asian correspondent Trisha Takanawa, Loretta Brown, and Lois's mother, Babs Pewterschmidt. Borstein was asked to provide a voice for the pilot while she was working on Mad TV. She had not met MacFarlane or seen any of his artwork and said it was really sight unseen. At the time, Borstein was performing in a stage show in Los Angeles. She played a red-headed mother whose voice she had based on one of her cousins. Seth Green primarily voices Chris Griffin and Neil Goldman. Green stated that he did an impression of the character Buffalo Bill from the thriller film The Silence of the Lambs during his audition. Mila Kunis and Lacey Chabert have both voiced Meg Griffin. Chabert left the series after the first season because of time conflicts with schoolwork at the time and her role on Party of Five. When Kunis auditioned for the role, she was called back by MacFarlane, who instructed her to speak slower. He then told her to come back another time and enunciate more. Once she claimed that she had it under control, MacFarlane hired her. Mike Henry voices Herbert, Bruce the performance artist, Consuela, the greased-up deaf guy, and until 2021, Cleveland Brown. Henry met MacFarlane at the Rhode Island School of Design and kept in touch with him after they graduated. A few years later, MacFarlane contacted him about being part of the show. He agreed and came on as a writer and voice actor. During the show's first 4 seasons, he was credited as a guest star, but beginning with Season 5's Prick Up Your Ears, he has been credited as a main cast member. On June 26, 2020, after 20 years of voicing the character, Mike Henry announced on Twitter that he was stepping down from voicing Cleveland, stating, "Persons of color should play characters of color." On September 25, 2020, it was announced that Arif Zahar would take over as the voice of Cleveland. Other recurring cast members include Patrick Warburton as Joe Swanson, Jennifer Tilly as Bonnie Swanson, John G. Brennan as Mort Goldman and Horace the Bartender, Carlos Alazraqui as Jonathan Weed, Adam Carolla and Norm MacDonald as Deaf, Laurie Allen as Diane Simmons, Phil Lamar as Ollie Williams and Judge Dignified Q. Blackman, and Kevin Michael Richardson as Jerome. Fellow cartoonist Butch Hartman has made guest voice appearances in episodes as various characters. Also, writer Danny Smith voices various recurring characters such as Ernie the Giant Chicken. Alexandra Breckenridge also appears as many various characters. Adam West appeared as the eponymous Mayor Adam West, until his death in 2017. Episodes often feature guest voices from a wide range of professions, including actors, athletes, authors, bands, musicians, and scientists. Many guest voices star as themselves. Leslie Uggams was the first to appear as herself in the 4th episode of the first season, Mind Over Murder. The episode Not All Dogs Go to Heaven guest-starred the entire cast of Star Trek The Next Generation, including Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, LeVar Burton, Gates McFadden, Michael Dorn, Will Wheaton, Marina Sirtis, and even Denise Crosby, Season 1 as Tasha Yar, playing themselves. This is the episode with the most guest stars of the 7th season. Section 6. Early History and Cancellation. Family Guy officially premiered after Fox's broadcast of Super Bowl 33 on January 31, 1999, with Death Has a Shadow. The show debuted to 22 million viewers and immediately generated controversy regarding its adult content. The show returned on April 11th, 1999 with I Never Met the Dead Man. Family Guy garnered decent ratings in Fox's 8:30 p.m. slot on Sunday, scheduled between The Simpsons and The X-Files. At the end of its first season, the show ranked number 33 in the Nielsen ratings, with 12.8 million households tuning in. The show launched its second season in a new time slot, Thursday at 9 p.m. on September 23, 1999. Family Guy was pitted against NBC's Frasier, and the series' ratings declined sharply. Subsequently, Fox removed Family Guy from its schedule and began airing episodes irregularly. The show returned on March 7, 2000 at 8:30 p.m. on Tuesdays, where it was constantly beaten in the ratings by ABC's then-new breakout hit Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, coming in at number 114 in the Nielsen ratings with 6.3 million households tuning in. Fox announced that the show had been cancelled in May 2000 at the end of the second season. However, following a last-minute reprieve, on July 24, 2000, Fox ordered 13 additional episodes to form a third season. The show returned on November 8, 2001, once again in a tough time slot, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. This slot brought it into competition with Survivor and Friends, a situation later referenced in Stewie Griffin: The Untold Story. During its second and third seasons, Fox frequently moved the show around to different days and time slots with little or no notice, and consequently, the show's ratings suffered. Upon Fox's annual unveiling of its 2002 fall lineup on May 15, 2002, Family Guy was absent. Fox announced that the show had been officially cancelled shortly thereafter. Section 7. Cult Success and Revival. Fox attempted to sell the rights for reruns of the show, but finding networks that were interested was difficult. Cartoon Network eventually bought the rights basically for free, according to the president of 20th Century Fox Television. Family Guy premiered in reruns on Adult Swim on April 20, 2003, and immediately became the block's top-rated program, dominating late-night viewing in its time period versus cable and broadcast competition, and boosting viewership by 239%. The complete first and second seasons were released on DVD the same week the show premiered on Adult Swim, and the show became a cult phenomenon, selling 400,000 copies within 1 month. Sales of the DVD set reached 2.2 million copies, becoming the best-selling television DVD of 2003 and the second highest-selling television DVD ever, behind the first season of Comedy Central's Chappelle's Show. The third season DVD release also sold more than 1 million copies. The show's popularity in DVD sales and reruns rekindled Fox's interest, and on May 20, 2004, Fox ordered 35 new episodes of Family Guy, marking the first revival of a television show based on DVD sales. North by North Quahog, which premiered May 1, 2005, was the first episode to be broadcast after the show's hiatus. It was written by MacFarlane and directed by Peter Shin. MacFarlane believed the show's 3-year hiatus was beneficial, because animated shows do not normally have hiatuses, and towards the end of their seasons, you see a lot more sex jokes and bodily function jokes and signs of a fatigued staff that their brains are just fried. With North by North Quahog, the writing staff tried to keep the show exactly as it was before its cancellation, and none of us had any desire to make it look any slicker. The episode was watched by 11.85 million viewers, the show's highest ratings since the airing of the first season episode Brian, Portrait of a Dog. Section 8. Lawsuits. In March 2007, comedian Carol Burnett filed a $6 million lawsuit against 20th Century Fox, claiming that her Charwoman cartoon character had been portrayed on the show without her permission. She stated it was a trademark infringement and that Fox violated her publicity rights. On June 4, 2007, United States District Judge Dean D. Pedersen rejected the lawsuit, stating that the parody was protected under the First Amendment, citing Hustler magazine versus Falwell as a precedent. On October 3, 2007, Born Co. music publishers filed a lawsuit accusing the show of infringing its copyright on the song When You Wish Upon a Star, through a parody song titled I Need a Jew, appearing in the episode When You Wish Upon a Weinstein. Born Co., the sole United States copyright owner of the song, alleged the parody pairs a thinly veiled copy of its music with anti-Semitic lyrics. Named in the suit were 20th Century Fox Film Corp., Fox Broadcasting Co., Cartoon Network, McFarlane, and Murphy. The suit sought to stop the program's distribution and asked for unspecified damages. Bourne argued that I Need a Jew uses the copyrighted melody of When You Wish Upon a Star without commenting on that song, and that it was therefore not a First Amendment protected parody, per the ruling in Campbell v. Akufros Music Inc. On March 16, 2009, United States District Judge Deborah Batts held that Family Guy did not infringe on Bourne's copyright when it transformed the song for comical use in an episode. In December 2007, Family Guy was again accused of copyright infringement when actor Art Metrano filed a lawsuit regarding a scene in Stewie Griffin The Untold Story, in which Jesus performs Metrano's signature magic act involving absurd faux magical hand gestures while humming the distinctive tune Fine and Dandy. 20th Century Fox, McFarlane, Callaghan, and Borstein were all named in the suit. In July 2009, a federal district court judge rejected Fox's motion to dismiss, saying that the first three fair use factors involved, purpose and character of the use, nature of the infringed work, and amount and substantiality of the taking, counted in Metrano's favor, while the fourth, economic impact, had to await more fact-finding. In denying the dismissal, the court held that the reference in the scene made light of Jesus and his followers, not Metrano or his act. The case was settled out of court in 2010 with undisclosed terms. Hallmarks, Section 1. Road 2 episodes. For further information, please see the article Road 2, Family Guy. The Road 2 episodes are a series of Hallmark travel episodes. They are a parody of the 7 Road 2 comedy films starring Bing Crosby and Bob Hope. These episodes have always involved Stewie and Brian in some foreign, supernatural, or science fiction location unrelated to the show's normal location in Quahog. The first, titled Road to Rhode Island, aired on May 30th, 2000, during the second season. The episodes are known for featuring elaborate musical numbers similar to the Road films. The episodes contain several trademarks, including a special version of the opening sequence, custom musical cues and musical numbers, and parodies of science fiction and fantasy films. The original idea for the Road 2 episodes came from McFarlane, as he is a fan of the films of Crosby, Hope, and Dorothy Lamour. The first episode was directed by Dan Povenmire, who would direct the rest of the Road 2 episodes until the episode Road to Rupert, at which point he had left the show to create Phineas and Ferb with Jeff Swampy Marsh. Series regular Greg Colton then took over Povenmire's role as director of the Road 2 episodes. The Road 2 episodes are generally considered by critics and fans to be some of the greatest in the series, thanks to the developing relationship between Stewie and Brian and the strong plot lines of the episodes themselves. Section 2. Humor. Family Guy uses the film-making technique of cutaways, which occur in the majority of Family Guy episodes. Early episodes based much of their comedy on Stewie's supervillain antics, such as his constant plans for total world domination, his evil experiments, plans and inventions to get rid of things he dislikes, and his constant attempts at matricide. As the series progressed, the writers of McFarlane agreed that his personality and the jokes were starting to feel dated, so they began writing him with a different personality. Family Guy often includes self-referential humor. The most common form is jokes about the Fox network, and occasions where the characters break the fourth wall by addressing the audience. For example, in North by North Quahog, the first episode that aired after the show's revival included Peter telling the family that they had been cancelled because Fox had to make room in their schedule for shows like Dark Angel, Titus, Undeclared, Action, That 80s Show, Wonderfalls, Fastlane, Andy Richter Controls the Universe, Skin, Girls Club, Cracking Up, The Pits, Firefly, Get Real, Freaky Links, Wander at Large, Costello, The Lone Gunman, A Minute with Stan Hooper, Normal, Ohio, Pasadena, Harsh Realm, Keen Eddie, The Street, The American Embassy, Cedric the Entertainer Presents, The Tick, Louie, and Greg the Bunny. Lois asks whether there is any hope, to which Peter replies that if all these shows are cancelled, they might have a chance. The shows were indeed cancelled during Family Guy's hiatus. The show uses catchphrases, and most of the primary and secondary characters have them. Notable expressions include Quagmire's giggity giggity goo, Peter's frickin' sweet, Cleveland's oh that's nasty, and Joe's bring it on. Reception and legacy. In 2016, a New York Times study of the 50 TV shows with the most Facebook likes found that, like other satirical comedies, Family Guy is most popular in cities. The show's popularity was more correlated with support for Hillary Clinton than any other show. As of 2008, the franchise has generated $1 billion in total revenue, including $400 million from TV syndication, $400 million from DVD sales, and $200 million from merchandise sales. Section 1. Ratings. Family Guy experienced a significant increase in viewership following its availability on various streaming platforms, with a particularly notable rise in popularity on Hulu. In 2018, it ranked among the most watched TV series on the streaming service Sling TV. In 2020, Hulu announced that Family Guy was one of the top 5 most watched non-sports and non-news related live shows on the streaming service. Nielsen Media Research, which records streaming viewership on US television screens, estimated that the series was watched for 910 million minutes from July 29th to August 4th, 2024. The following week, it garnered 881 million minutes of viewing time from August 5th to 11th, 2024, making it the 6th most streamed television show overall. From August 12th to 18th, 2024, Family Guy generated 834 million minutes of viewership, ranking it as the 8th most streamed television show overall. From August 26th to September 1st, 2024, it amassed more than 1 billion minutes of viewing time, securing its position as the 3rd most streamed series overall. In December 25, Disney announced that Family Guy was among the television series to surpass 1 billion hours streamed on Disney Plus in 2025. Section 2. Critical reception. Family Guy has received generally positive reviews, particularly for its pop culture references, blue humor, satire, and non-sequitur storytelling. Catherine Sipe of National Review Online described it as a nasty but extremely funny cartoon. Karen James of the New York Times called it a show with an outrageously satirical family that includes plenty of comic possibilities and parodies. The Sydney Morning Herald named Family Guy the show of the week on April 21, 2009, hailing it a pop culture-heavy masterpiece. Fraser Moore from the Seattle Times called it an endless craving for humor about bodily emissions. He thought it was breathtakingly smart and said a blend of the ingenious with the raw helps account for its much broader appeal. He summarized it as rude, crude, and deliciously wrong. The New Yorker's Nancy Franklin said that Family Guy is becoming one of the best animated shows. She commented on its ribaldry and popularity. The show has become a hit on Hulu. It is the 2nd highest viewed show after Saturday Night Live. IGN called Family Guy a great show and commented that it has gotten better since its revival. They stated that they cannot imagine another half-hour sitcom that provides as many laughs as Family Guy. Empire praised the show and its writers for creating really hilarious moments with unlikely material. They commented that one of the reasons they love the show is because nothing is sacred. It makes jokes and gags of almost everything. Robin Pearson of the TV Critic praised the series as a different kind of animated comedy, which clearly sets out to do jokes which other cartoons can't do. Family Guy has proven popular in the United Kingdom, regularly obtaining between 700,000 and 1 million viewers for reruns on BBC Three. The series has attracted many celebrities. Robert Downey Jr. telephoned the show production staff and asked if he could produce or assist in an episode's creation, as his son is a fan of the show. The producers subsequently created a character for Downey. Lauren Conrad met MacFarlane while recording a Laguna Beach clip for the episode Prick Up Your Ears from Season 5 in 2006. She has watched Family Guy for years and considers Stewie her favorite character. Commenting on his appearance in the episode Big Man on Hippocampus from Season 8 in 2010, actor Dwayne Johnson stated that he was a big fan of Family Guy. Johnson befriended MacFarlane after he had a minor role in Johnson's 2010 film Tooth Fairy. R&B singer Rihanna has admitted to being a fan of Family Guy, as has pop singer Britney Spears. She tries to imitate Stewie's English accent. Spears, who was mocked for her personal problems in the South Park episode Britney's New Look in 2008, offered to appear in a cameo to hit back at the similar animated show, but MacFarlane declined, stating that he did not want to start a feud with the series. Section 3. Awards. For further information, please see the main article, List of awards and nominations received by Family Guy. Family Guy and its cast have been nominated for 27 Emmy Awards, with 8 wins. MacFarlane won the Outstanding Voiceover Performance Award for his performance as Stewie. Murphy and MacFarlane won the Outstanding Music and Lyrics Award for the song You Got a Lot to See from the episode Brian Wallows and Peter's Swallows. Stephen Fonte won the Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation Award for his storyboard work in the episode No Chris Left Behind, and Greg Colton won the Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation Award for his storyboard work in the episode Road to the Multiverse. The show was nominated for 11 Annie Awards and won 3 times, twice in 2006 and once in 2008. In 2009, it was nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series, becoming the first animated program to be nominated in this category since The Flintstones in 1961. The Simpsons was almost nominated in 1993, but voters were hesitant to pit cartoons against live-action programs. The show was nominated for a Grammy in 2011. Family Guy has been nominated and has won various other awards, including the Teen Choice Awards and the People's Choice Awards. In the 1000th issue of Entertainment Weekly, Brian Griffin was selected as the dog for the perfect TV family. Wizard magazine rated Stewie the 95th greatest villain of all time. British newspaper The Times rated Family Guy the 45th best American show in 2009. IGN ranked Family Guy number 7 in the top 100 animated series and number 6 in the top 25 primetime animated series of all time. Empire named it the 12th greatest TV show of all time in 2008. In 2005, viewers of the UK television channel Channel 4 voted Family Guy number 5 on their list of the 100 greatest cartoons. Brian was awarded the 2009 Stoner of the Year award by High Times for the episode 420, marking the first time an animated character has received the honor. In 2004 and 2007, TV Guide ranked Family Guy number 12 and number 15 in their list of top cult shows ever. Family Guy has garnered 6 Golden Reel Awards nominations, winning 3. In 2013, TV Guide ranked Family Guy the 9th greatest TV cartoon of all time. Section 4. Criticism and Controversy. For further information, See the article on Family Guy controversies. One of the initial critics to give the show negative views was Ken Tucker from Entertainment Weekly. He called it "The Simpsons as conceived by a singularly sophomoric mind that lacks any reference point beyond other TV shows." The Parents Television Council, a conservative non-profit watchdog, has attacked the series since its premiere and has branded various episodes as "Worst TV Show of the Week." In May 2000, the PTC launched a letter-writing campaign to the Fox network in an effort to persuade the network to cancel the show. The PTC has placed the show on their annual lists of worst primetime shows for family viewing in 2000, 2005, and 2006. The Federal Communications Commission has received multiple petitions requesting that the show be blocked from broadcasting on indecency grounds. Tucker and the PTC have both accused the show of portraying religion negatively and of being racist. Because of the PTC, some advertisers have cancelled their contracts after reviewing the content of the episodes, claiming it to be unsuitable. Critics have compared the show's humor and characters with those of The Simpsons. Various episodes of the show have generated controversy. In 420, from season 7 in 2009, Brian decides to start a campaign to legalize cannabis in Quahog. The Venezuelan government reacted negatively to the episode and banned Family Guy from airing on their local networks, which generally syndicate American programming. Venezuelan Justice Minister Tarek al-Aissami, citing the promotion of the use of cannabis, stated that any cable stations that did not stop airing the series would be fined. The government showed a clip which featured Brian and Stewie singing the praises of marijuana as a demonstration of how the United States supports cannabis use. In Extra Large Medium, from Season 8 in 2010, a character named Ellen, who has Down syndrome, states that her mother is the former governor of Alaska, which strongly implies that her mother is Sarah Palin, the only woman to have served in the office of governor in the state. Palin, the mother of a child with Down syndrome, criticized the episode in an appearance on The O'Reilly Factor, calling those who made the show cruel, cold-hearted people. Broadcast and streaming. In the United States, the show currently airs on Adult Swim, Comedy Central, and FXX. The show was first syndicated to Adult Swim and TBS from 2003 to 2021, sharing the rights to the first 15 seasons. It was syndicated to various local stations from 2007 to 2024. In April 2019, FX Networks began airing reruns of Season 16 on FXX, with Season 17 debuting that October, and shared off-network rights to both seasons with sister channel Freeform. After Adult Swim and TBS's rights expired on September 18, 2021, FXX and Freeform began airing the first 15 seasons. The show also joined FX's lineup that same month. The show's departure from Adult Swim on September 18, 2021 was commemorated with a remembrance bumper created by the network, which played after the final airing, the episode Stewie is Enceinte. The bumper showed animations of several Adult Swim characters bidding farewell to Family Guy, including shots of Peter crying at the beginning and the Griffin family waving goodbye towards the end. Comedy Central began airing the show on September 2, 2024, as part of a non-exclusive licensing deal between Paramount and Disney. Comedy Central debuted the show with an all-day marathon on Labor Day. A similar licensing deal was then struck with Warner Bros. Discovery Networks for the show to return to Adult Swim starting January 1, 2025, with the network planning a 3-day marathon to celebrate. In the United States, the series is available for streaming exclusively on Hulu. Additionally, Hulu launched 2 holiday specials of Family Guy in late 2024, marking the first time a new episode of the show airs on a streaming platform. Internationally, Family Guy is available to stream on Star on Disney+. The first such special premiered on October 14th, 2024. The second special would then air on November 25th, 2024. The show's second Halloween special for Hulu would air on October 6th, 2025. The United States is the only country where the show is not available on either Disney Plus or Star Plus. Initially, Family Guy was not available to stream on Disney Plus in Latin America, as it had been made available on the standalone service Star Plus. However, Star Plus content merged with Disney Plus content on June 26, 2024, and Star Plus was discontinued altogether on July 24, 2024. Family Guy premiered in Australia on April 9, 1999, on the 7 Network, in 2000 on Fox 8, and on 7 Mate on September 27, 2010. Initially, only 2 seasons were available to stream on Disney Plus Star due to pre-existing contracts. The other 17 seasons were added on December 1, 2021, after the contract expired. In Canada, the series premiered January 31, 1999 on Global, and September 1, 2003 on Teletoon at night. Beginning in the 2015 to 2016 season, the show moved to City TV. The show would once again return to the channel in 2023. Starting in November 2021, the series moved to Disney+. In addition to Teletoon at night, the show has been syndicated to TVtropolis, now Detour. As of January 2025, Adult Swim Canada and FXX Canada syndicate the series. Since 2024, CHCH and City TV share the broadcast rights to the series due to scheduling issues with new episodes streaming the next day on Disney+. The show airs in India on Star World Premiere, in Ireland on 3E, and in New Zealand on TVNZ Duke. Previously, it screened on defunct Channel 4. In the United Kingdom, Family Guy premiered in September 1999, originally on Channel 4 and Sky 1. In January 2005, Fox UK, then known as FX, began broadcasting the show. From October 2005, BBC Two started screening Family Guy before the show moved to BBC Three in September 2006. Beginning with season 14, the show moved to ITV2, premiering on February 29, 2016, while the BBC would continue to hold the rights for past seasons until 2017. Franchise. For further information, please see the main article Family Guy, Franchise. Section 1. Books. Family Guy, It Takes a Village Idiot, and I Married One was written by executive story editor Sherry Shever-Pravattamrong and actress Alex Borstein. The book was first published on May 8, 2007. The book is a biographical monologue by Lois Griffin covering a portion of her life, spanning from her memories of growing up to her attempted run for mayor in the town of Quahog. Though the book primarily consists of a loose narrative monologue by Lois, it is also interspersed with sections from other characters such as Peter Griffin. The book covers events featured in the Family Guy episode It Takes a Village Idiot, and I Married One, with which it shares a title. It was published in the United Kingdom in 2007 by Orion Books. A comic book based on the Family Guy universe was produced. Published by Titan Comics, edited by Steve White, and illustrated by Anthony Williams and S.L. Gallant, the writing and the illustrations were supervised by the show's producers. The first comic book was released on July 27, 2011. Section 2. Live Performances. As promotion for the show, and as Newman described, to expand interest in the show beyond its die-hard fans, Fox organized 4 Family Guy live performances, which featured cast members reading old episodes aloud. The cast also performed musical numbers from the Family Guy Live in Vegas comedy album. The stage shows were an extension of a performance by the cast during the 2004 Montreal Comedy Festival. The Family Guy live performances, which took place in Los Angeles and New York, sold out and were attended by around 1,200 people each. In 2009, a special televised performance show aired titled Family Guy Presents Seth and Alex's Almost Live Comedy Show, in which voice actors Alex Borstein and MacFarlane performed songs from the show, as well as a parody of Lady Gaga's song Poker Face in the voice of Marlee Matlin, who appeared on stage as a guest during the performance. Some new animated gags also appeared in the show. Section 3. Film. In a July 22, 2007 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, MacFarlane announced that he may start working on a feature film, although nothing's official. In TV Week on July 18, 2008, MacFarlane confirmed plans to produce a theatrically released Family Guy feature film sometime within the next year. He came up with an idea for the story, something that you could not do on the show, which to him is the only reason to do a movie. He later went on to say he imagines the film to be an old-style musical with dialogue, similar to The Sound of Music, saying that he would really be trying to capture, musically, that feel. On October 13, 2011, MacFarlane confirmed that a deal for a Family Guy film had been made and that it would be written by him and series co-producer Ricky Blitt. On November 30, 2012, MacFarlane confirmed plans to produce a Family Guy film. The project was put on hold while MacFarlane worked on Ted 2. On August 10, 2018, Fox announced that a live-action animated film based on the series was in development. In July 2019, MacFarlane confirmed that there would be a Family Guy film. During Paley Fest in April 2024, MacFarlane revealed that he has known what the plot of the film would be for the past 15 years, but had not had the time to write it. Section 4. Spin-offs. For further information, please see the main article about The Cleveland Show. MacFarlane co-created, alongside Mike Henry and Richard Apple, the Family Guy spin-off The Cleveland Show, which premiered September 27, 2009. They began discussing the project in 2007. On March 12, 2026, it was announced that a second spin-off series, Stewie, was given a 2-season order for Fox. The new animated comedy is reported to follow Stewie Griffin in preschool and will explore time and space travel. Unlike Cleveland Brown, who was not seen on Family Guy while appearing on The Cleveland Show, Stewie Griffin will remain on Family Guy and will be seen on both shows. The spin-off is set to premiere during the 2027 to 2028 season. Section 5. Video games. For further information, please see the main article on list of Family Guy video games. The Family Guy video game is a 2006 action game released by 2K Games and developed by High Voltage Software. Family Guy: Back to the Multiverse, which is centered around the episode Road to the Multiverse, was released on November 20th, 2012. Family Guy: The Quest for Stuff launched on iOS and Android on April 10th, 2014. Animation Throwdown: The Quest for Cards, a card game with content and characters from 5 animated television shows from Fox, Family Guy, Futurama, American Dad, Bob's Burgers, and King of the Hill, was released in 2016 by Congregate. Family Guy: Another Frickin' Mobile Game was released on iOS on April 25, 2017. Warped Kart Racers is a racing game that was released on Apple Arcade in May 2022. The game features the entire Griffin family and includes characters from American Dad, King of the Hill, and Solar Opposites. Section 6. Merchandise. For further information, please see the main article List of Family Guy home video releases. As of 2009, 6 books have been released about the Family Guy universe. all published by HarperCollins since 2005. The first, Family Guy, Stewie's Guide to World Domination by Steve Callahan, was released on April 26, 2005. Written in the style of a graphic novel, the plot follows Stewie's plans to rule the world. Other books include Family Guy, It Takes a Village Idiot, and I Married One, which covers the event of the episode of the same name, and Family Guy and Philosophy, A Cure for the Petarded, a collection of 17 essays exploring the connections between the series and historical philosophers. A book written from Brian's point of view, written by Andrew Goldberg, was published in 2006, called Brian Griffin's Guide to Booze, Broads, and the Lost Art of Being a Man. Family Guy has been commercially successful in the home market. The show was the first to be resurrected because of high DVD sales. The first volume, covering the show's first 2 seasons, sold 1.67 million units, topping TV DVD sales in 2003, while the second volume sold another million units. Volumes 6 and 7 debuted at 5th place in United States DVD sales. Volume 7 was the highest-selling television DVD, selling 171,000 units by June 21, 2009. Family Guy Presents Blue Harvest, the DVD featuring the Star Wars special Blue Harvest, was released on January 15, 2008, and premiered at the top of United States DVD sales. The DVD was the first Family Guy DVD to include a digital copy for download to the iPod. In 2004, the first series of Family Guy toy figurines was released by Mezco Toys. Each member of the Griffin family had their own toy, with the exception of Stewie, of whom 2 different figures were made. Over the course of 2 years, 4 more series of toy figures were released, with various forms of Peter. In 2008, the character Peter appeared in advertisements for Subway restaurants, promoting the restaurant's Massive Feast sandwich. This sound file and all text in the article are licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 4.0 International License. Available at creativecommons.org/licenses/by-SA/4.0.